Welcome to News Today, a PodNu service. Today is Saturday, March 26, 2022, Central European Time. Taylor Hawkins, the longtime drummer for rock band Foo Fighters, has died at the age of 50, the band has announced. The Foo Fighters family is devastated by the tragic and untimely loss of our beloved Taylor Hawkins, the band's official account tweeted. His musical spirit and infectious laughter will live on with all of us forever. Our hearts go out to his wife, children, and family, and we ask that their privacy be treated with the utmost respect in this unimaginably difficult time. No cause of death was mentioned in the statement. Hawkins played with the Foo Fighters at a one-time show in Geelong's Cardinia Park this month. Announcement came just a few hours before the band was supposed to perform at a Colombian music festival in Bogotá. They were supposed to be there. Photos and videos from a festival show a big screen with a message saying that the band had to cancel their show and all of their South American tour because of bad weather. There were candles on the stage in a group. After Foo Fighters founder and frontman Dave Grohl, Hawkins was probably the most well-known member of the group. He did interviews with Grohl and played important roles in the band's videos. He was the drummer for Foo Fighters for 25 of their 28 years together. In 1997, he took over for the band's first drummer, William Goldsmith. After they formed a few years later, Hawkins joined the band and played on some of their best albums and singles. My Hero and Best of You are two of them. Oliver Taylor Hawkins was born in Fort Worth, Texas, in 1972. He grew up in Laguna Beach, California, and went to school there. A small Southern California band called Sylvia was where he first worked as a drummer. Sass Jordan was the first big job he ever had as a drummer. He then played drums on Alanis Morissette's tour in the mid-1990s. Grohl asked him to join the Foo Fighters, so he did. It's the second time Grohl has lost a friend in the band. During Kurt Cobain's death in 1994, Grohl played drums for Nirvana. People who know Hawkins' wife and 3 children are sad to say that he died. A great person and an amazing musician. He was one of the other rock stars who paid tribute to Hawkins on social media. Ozzy Osbourne was one of them. Osbourne said Hawkins was truly a great person and an amazing musician. He and Hawkins and Jane's Addiction frontman Perry Farrell were all in a picture that Tom Morello put on Twitter. I loved your spirit and your unstoppable rock power, he said of Hawkins. Some of the other music stars who paid tribute to Hawkins were Ringo Starr, Mike Portnoy, Brian May, and Steve Albini. Hawkins told the Associated Press in 2019 that his drumming style was influenced by a lot of different things. Major influences for me as a drummer were Roger Taylor, Stuart Copeland from The Police, obviously, he said. I loved Larry Mullen. Like in the first 4 or 5 U2 records, you know, it's like unforgettable fire. I was a huge U2 fan, those early records. And Alex Van Halen, of Van Halen, obviously. Hawkins said Jane's Addiction drummer Steve Perkins had a big impact on his drum setup and sound. He also said Phil Collins was one of his favorite artists. Phil Collins, one of my favorite drummers ever. People forget that he was a great drummer as well as a sweater-wearing nice guy from the 80s, poor fella. He's a great drummer, unbelievable drummer, he said. Steve Perkins from Jane's Addiction was a big I wanted to be him when if you watch video of me playing with Alanis Morissette back in the mid-90s, my drum setup like him, the whole thing. I was still sort of a copycat at that point. It takes a while and takes a little while to sort of establish your own sort of style. And I don't mean I didn't sound exactly like him, I sound like me, but he was a big, huge influence.